What is the United Nations? In this video, we're going to talk about how the UN was created, its functions, as well as its different offices and sectors. In 1920, League of Nations was founded to avoid more conflict caused by wars. However, because of the non-participation of the strongest nation, the USA, and several other issues, League of Nations only lasted for 26 years, being dissolved in 1946, incapable of preventing the World War II. The World War II created more destructive consequences, causing states together to create an international organization that led to the foundation of the United Nations. President Roosevelt of the US, Prime Minister Churchill of UK, Maxim Litvinov of the USSR, and TV Soong of China signed a short document which later came to be known as the United Nations Declaration. 3 years later, 26 signatories were added in the declaration, followed by 19 countries later, including the Philippines. Today, the United Nations is currently made up of 193 member states with the aim to maintain world peace and security, protect human rights, deliver humanitarian aid, promote sustainable development, and uphold international law. And that takes us to the second part of our video, the functions of the UN. First is to maintain international peace and security. When the UN was created in 1945, they were influenced with one central mission: to maintain international peace and security. The UN Security Council is the primary responsible for international peace and security, while the General Assembly worked together with the Secretary General. Second is to protect human rights. In 1948, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights laid down the principles that brought human rights into the realm of international law. Since then, the organization has been doing a good job in protecting human rights through the help of the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights. Third is to deliver humanitarian aid. As stated in United Nations Charter, to achieve international cooperation in solving international problems of an economic, social, cultural, or humanitarian character. By the help of the Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, the international community now relies on this organization to coordinate humanitarian response to natural and man-made disasters in areas beyond the capabilities of national authorities alone, to support sustainable development and climate action. Through the help of over 38 key entities working to support sustainable development and climate action, the UN came up with the Sustainable Development Agenda, comprised with the MDGs or the Millennium Development Goals, the 23 Agenda, and the Paris Agreement. The MDGs greatly contributed to the progress of close to 40% of the world population of the developing world struggling with extreme poverty by making it to half today. Now, the 2030 Agenda was inspired by the success of the MDGs. It aims to end poverty, zero hunger, quality education, gender equality, and sustainable cities and communities, and etc. Lastly, the Paris Agreement with the central aim to strengthen the global response to the threat of climate change by keeping the global temperature rise well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels or even below 1.5 degrees Celsius with the help in financing, new technology, and an enhanced capacity building framework. To uphold international law. International law defines the legal responsibilities of states in their conduct with each other and their treatment of individuals within state boundaries. The UN is primarily responsible to settle disputes between states to be handled by the International Court of Justice, as well as addressing war crimes, crimes against humanity, and genocide handled by the courts and tribunals such as the International Criminal Court and the Mechanism for International Criminal Tribunals. Lastly, we're going to talk about its different offices and sectors, whereas each sector focuses on different issues and have specific functions. The General Assembly that sets the UN's budgets, elects members, and makes recommendations on international issues. The Security Council that has the power to impose sanctions, authorize military action, and establish peacekeeping missions. The Economic and Social Council that is responsible for promoting international economic and social cooperation and development. The International Court of Justice as the primary judicial body of the United Nations. The UN Secretariat that is responsible for carrying out the day-to-day work of the organization and implementing the decisions of other UN bodies. The Trusteeship Council that oversees the administration of trust territories and ensuring that their inhabitants be prepared for self-government, which has now completed its mandate, but its functions continue through other UN bodies. And lastly, here's a list of offices of the UN that supports and works with the sectors mentioned earlier for maintaining progress in reaching the UN's goals towards world betterment.